Hey, this is the top guy, Griffin McCoy, representing Young, Dumb, and Broke and Punk Star Posse, and you're listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hi, this is Shauna Reed, daughter of 1,000 Maniacs, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hi, I'm Laurel Cassidy. I am the Rainbow Brights wrestler, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, bringing you the latest exclusive breaking news, previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code Wrestling with E for 10% off your next purchase. Of course, I am your host, James J., alongside Kaliko Yachts, who is not here at the moment, but who is here, Scooter Dust.
If you see a robbery at an Apple store, does that make you an eyewitness?
And it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the Rainbow Bright Wrestler, Casey Cool, Laurel Cassidy.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Awesome.
Can you tell us what you have coming up?
Unfortunately to say, I don't have anything coming up just yet, but I do have an Instagram and Twitter you can follow, and I put everything up on there. It's my handle is hi_ I'm Laurel.
All right.
Yeah.
And do we have any merchandise in the works?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm working on a top.
Soon to be revealed.
Yes, exactly.
And you can find all of that in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Now, you work for Crossbody Wrestling. Can you tell us about your relationship with that company?
Crossbody. I have a good relationship. Ben, he's an awesome person, and took me in and gave me some shows when I was finding it to be a little bit of a rough time getting some shows. And I'm sad they're not running at the moment, and I wish they were. But yeah, I've known Ben for a little while too.
Huh?
Yeah.
Scooter, you have a question.
All right. Let's get down to brass tacks. Do you have a clear fondness for the 80s?
Yes.
What is the story behind that? How'd that come about?
I just really like the crazy fashion of the 80s and just the colors. And if I would be able to go back in time, it would be to the 80s because it looks like fun.
Top 3 favorite things about the 80s.
Hair metal.
Good
of
one.
course, the fashion, as I said. And they have some great movies in the 80s.
There are some great movies out of the 80s.
Yeah.
That is true, but I'm sorry, those are the wrong answers. All three are my birth. No.
Just to reiterate, there are some really great movies from the 80s. What are you watching?
Who am I watching?
Yeah.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit's a favorite of mine. Yeah. The Lost Boys. Yeah, I know. You wouldn't think it, but I do enjoy that movie.
Hey, no judgment from us.
How about
Well,
you guys?
Ooh,
ooh,
ooh. Uh, See, 80s movies, and this is actually probably going to lead into a later question, so I think I'm going to save mine.
Okay.
you caught me kind of off guard there, but maybe was Empire Strikes Back in the 80s?
I believe so.
Damn it, James.
Star Wars is pretty epic.
Well,
Oh yeah. All right. Now can you tell us about this pandemic era of wrestling and maybe how it affected your style and wrestling in front of no crowds?
Well, yeah, it's affected me a lot. I feel like right before the pandemic hit, I was on a roll. Obviously, I was at Crossbody wrestling there. I was to be on a Courage Pro Wrestling show that was to be billed as a full female roster
Mm,
and tournament style as well. So unfortunately, that one didn't go through, and I was really excited because I was going to actually face Jody Threat,
ooh.
and yeah, I would love. She's an awesome person and just awesome wrestler, and I love her. But I've had one. My last match was last December in front of no crowd. Well, we did have a little bit of a crowd. It was just trainees at HPW at Hamilton Pro Wrestling Academy.
Yeah.
And it was nice. It was something I really needed at that moment. And I've been working on new gear, which has gotten me really excited as well. And I'm just doing a lot of prepping as well.
Okay. Scooter, you have a question.
all right. Well, since you kind of spoiled it, James. Um,
Oh no.
now, now we are huge Star Wars fans here, and my as well as a couple of other things that I believe you are a huge fan of, and I don't want to immediately ask everything at once, so space it out. Now, being a Star Wars fan, favorite movie of the entire saga?
Oh, so that's difficult because, like, I'm not a hardcore Star Wars fan. I very much appreciate like the movies, especially the older ones.
That's the right answer.
I know, I know, but I have to say, I very much enjoyed watching The Mandalorian.
Ooh, yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
That is a good one.
I still sleep with my Grogu.
Aww.
Now that does beg the question: did Han shoot first?
Oh. Oh man.
My clunky.
I would say no. Oh, what do you guys think?
It doesn't change my outlook on Han Solo if he shot first. I mean, there was a bounty hunter that wanted to kill him. If he shot first, then it was self-defense. Either way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Greedo shot first. It's
Now, you mentioned a little earlier ago, you worked for HPW. The
Yep.
Academy Wars 3.
Yes.
That was a really odd looking setup. it kind of looked like it was something out of a horror movie. There was no lights on. There was just the ring and like a very claustrophobic hallways, so to speak. Um,
Yeah.
I wasn't there. You was. Could you maybe speak to that and what that experience was like?
Well, that's actually exactly right where we train out of. Uh, it is very small, like it's just in a kind of like a garage. There is a lot more room behind the ring where the camera would have been, so you couldn't see it.
Okay.
But that's the home gym. And it's, I don't know, there's a certain charm to it.
But there was, again, it seemed like the lights weren't on. Like there was just like a giant flashlight shining on you while you was wrestling.
Yeah.
Does that make it a lot more difficult to actually focus on your match and perform?
Not necessarily. I was able to see my opponent pretty well, Loon.
The loon, yeah.
And yes, but it was hard to see like who was up in the rafters. But other than that, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't as bad as I guess it looked. If you could say. We had to work with what we had as well.
Oh no, I totally get that.
Yeah.
I was just curious about, that working in that environment. Because it
Yeah,
wasn't
no.
something I've seen quite before.
Yeah, it's just something because of the pandemic era. We would normally run in the dawn. Oh, and it's in a hall here in Hamilton, Ontario, and we usually run out of there if it's a normal show.
All right. Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Now, you do something very interesting with vinyl records
Oh
that
my
aren't being
gosh.
played anymore.
Yes.
Them.
Oh, I paint them. I like to paint superheroes, insignias on it. Yeah, I haven't done that recently, but I was really into it a few years back. I actually put a hold on wrestling because I wasn't too sure if I wanted to continue or not. And I decided to take that up and go to comic conventions and sell them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm guessing I see my Instagram.
Yes.
And to build on that, now doing something like that, obviously you take commissions.
Yes.
And I'm not sure how familiar you are with Reddit, but there's a popular subreddit known as Choosing Beggars,
Oh.
which basically, how many times have random people, or maybe even people you know, have asked for free artwork because they're famous, and I'm using air quotes.
Okay, I'm imagining.
And how many have promised to pay you in exposure?
In exposure, actually nobody. I have had one friend though that wanted me to do a vinyl for her now ex-boyfriend, and she expected me to pay. She expected me to tell her that would be free. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And since you brought it up, and it's on my list of the questions, you've been to quite a few comic conventions.
Yes.
What is one of the craziest cosplay you've done at a convention, the craziest cosplay you've seen somebody else in at a convention, and
Oh,
what is the best convention you've ever been to?
oh man, those are some heavy questions. Okay, so the first one I could say my most intense cosplay costume was oh, I forget her name, but it was a Bleach character. She was one of the captains, and I made the whole outfit myself.
All
Yeah, yeah. That's something because like I don't have any patience anymore to sew, so just undergoing that, it blows my mind how I was able to do that. The craziest one I've seen. Oh, there's some crazy ones. Just the amount of detail they put in. Um, oh, I, honestly, I really can't say. There's been so many that I just, they
Okay.
just, yeah, they're just not there. I can't say. I've seen a Gundam though. That's
Oh, yeah.
pretty crazy. Yeah.
What about most disturbing? Like, somebody should not wear that public. We're talking like fat, hairy, sweaty guy as Slave Leia.
Oh, yeah, there's been a few I've seen like that too. It's more unfortunately the women. It's just like you should not be kind of wearing that. Like I don't even like wearing a two piece. Again, I honestly don't know what characters they were.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
But you just, you mentioned that you dressed up as a Bleach character. I'm assuming
Yes.
you are a anime fan.
Oh, big anime fan. I'm actually watching Boruto right now and My Hero Academia.
Could you please tell Travis Huckabee what My Hero Academia is?
My Hero Academia?
No, it's a callback to a other episode. Good friend. But how are you liking My Hero Academia right now? Are you caught up,
Oh,
or are you it's still backtracking?
no, I'm definitely caught up. And I'm loving it. It's super interesting. I love the fight scenes. Just the amount of detail that they put into it, and it just I don't know, for some reason it just inspires me too. It's like I could do anything I want. I can be a hero too, you know.
Oh yeah. And I kind of felt, considering what last season was, with Overhaul, it was maybe a little bit more low key, but I have been enjoying, the story arc with Endeavor and
Oh
him trying to get on the redemption path with his family.
yeah, I've been really enjoying that. I really think they've done really good job character wise trying to make him a better person, and even trying to be a better and his own number one hero.
Yeah, because that was a big episode with All Might when he asked him, "What does it mean to be a symbol?"
Yes.
And I was like, okay, I understand. He finally got what he wanted, but he wasn't exactly sure how to stay where he was.
Yeah. It was the pressure of because of All Might being so popular that he was, right?
Right.
That he didn't know how to be his own.
I think that was the most reflected in the last episode of the last season, his start. That was for a character I really didn't like at the time. They really made me care about Endeavor in that episode.
Yeah. Same here. And that's why I love it so much.
All right. We'll get off of this because I know this is all lost on Scooter right now.
Oh, really? You're not an anime fan?
What's anime? Ah, no, I prefer Crayon Shin-chan. So
Ah.
So, getting back onto the wrestling beaten track,
Sure.
you didn't wrestle Jody Dredwitz. That would have been a fantastic match.
Hmm.
But you did wrestle Alexia Nicole.
Yes.
Could you tell us about that match and what it was like being in there with maybe one of the top Canadian independent stars?
It was exciting. That was my first time in the ring with her. And to be honest, I was a little bit scared, I guess you could say at first, but it was great. She helped me a lot. And even like after the match, had some great pointers for me. And I would definitely love to wrestle her again.
And was it kind of gratifying to kind of get that big match with Alexia Nicole to be trusted to have a good match with her?
Yeah, it was.
Well, Scooter, you have a question.
yes.
Don't forget
Yes,
the Burger
Scooter.
King question.
Oh, Burger King, your face. Now, you have a lot of tattoos.
Yes, I have. Yeah, I would like more.
And this is a little bit of payback for James stepping on my toes earlier. How many tattoos do you have that aren't Pokemon?
Oh, I actually just got a new one that is a Pokemon too, which that's so funny. Well, let's see here. I would say 1, 2, 3. 3 that are not Pokemon.
3. Oh. All right, and I think I'll throw it to James.
That begs the question: what's your spirit Pokemon?
Oh, Vaporeon. I love Vaporeon. I'm actually staring at a little stuffy of her right now.
I loved how you had that ready to go. There was not a hesitation in your voice.
No, I'm all about especially the older generation. The newer ones I don't really know, so it's a little bit more easier for me.
I think that's everybody at this point.
Yeah.
It's been going on for 25 years at this point.
Oh, yeah.
I was playing blue and silver in high school.
Oh, nice.
Did you collect the cards?
Yes, I did. I never played them though.
And just another question about it: did you trade them, or did you sell them? Or you just got them?
Sorry.
No, that's what was the question.
Oh, okay. No, I think I just collected them. That's all. I think I tried playing, but it was too complicated for my little mind. So I was just like, they're pretty, so I'm going to keep them.
I asked because we had a guest on that he ran a underground Pokemon trading card ring.
What?
Yeah, and it got him in trouble in school.
Interesting.
And it wasn't necessarily his fault. He did nothing wrong, but they were blaming him.
Which interview was this? I gotta listen to this.
Tyler Klein.
Tyler Klein. Okay.
He would sell his Pokemon cards, the ones that he had spare, and the other
Yes.
kids that wanted them, they would take the money from their parents. They would steal it from their purses and their wallets, and he would take the money. And
Oh my gosh.
his parents were like, when they found out he was in trouble, they were really pissed off. But when they found out that it was, a consensual transaction, they were like, they did nothing. He did nothing wrong.
No.
He had the card. They gave him the money. He gave them the card, but he still got suspended for 2 weeks.
Of course. Oh, geez, that's an awesome story. I have a question for you guys, actually.
Yes.
What would be your spirit animal for Pokemon?
I had this down pat. Articuno.
Ah, nice.
Because first and foremost, I'm legendary. I like to stay on my private island, and I don't like people touching my shit.
Nah, I get that. I get that.
Scooter?
Yeah, how about you, Scooter?
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Nice. Very nice. Jigglypuff's so cute.
We've gotten Jigglypuff before.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
And plus the fact that I can put people to sleep if I don't shut up.
Shh.
No, you were in a class that was taught by Veda Scott. Veda Scott may be one of the more underrated names in pro wrestling. So I'm curious, what did you learn from that seminar?
It was actually Veda Scott and Speedball Mike Bailey as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they co-hosted it. We learned a lot more like psychology and just a little bit of a few tricks to use in a match.
All right. Good.
Yeah, it was a lot of running through things and even just cleaning up some stuff as well.
Did Mike Bailey teach you how to wrestle with no shoes?
And I don't know how he does it. It's nuts to wrestle with no shoes.
Oh, yeah, I could imagine.
That's not a class for me.
So we're not going to see bare feet in the ring from you.
No. Unless someone takes my shoes off. That's it.
Scooter, you have a question.
Okay. Now, once again, going back to the, non-wrestling track here.
All right.
And assuming by your Instagram that you might be a bit of a actual comic fan, Marvel, DC.
Yeah, I'm a bit.
Okay. Do you have a favorite Marvel character, favorite DC character?
Favorite Marvel would be Spider-Man, of course. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I love him. And for DC, I'm not sure where I stand with DC at the moment. I was a big Batman person. You know what? Actually, never mind. Part of my name is actually came from this comic book character.
Black Canary.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. And I actually have a Black Canary tattoo as well.
Ooh, awesome.
Yes. Yes. So I'd say, yeah, she's a big one. She's going to be forever.
I could imagine. I mean, the first thing I thought was when I Laurel Cassidy. Huh? Well, that's Black Canary, but that's just my nerd brain working.
No, that's exactly how the name came to be. Cassidy. I used to go by Cassie Cool.
Yeah.
So I want to keep that Cassie in there, and it just rang with it.
Oh no, it works. I like it.
Yeah. Thank you.
You said that you were on the outs with DC right now. Did that have anything to do with the latest Suicide Squad movie?
Actually, I watched that, and I think that was better than the first one. Way better.
Any movie where Pete Davidson gets his face blown off is okay by me.
Well, what made you on the outs with DC?
I just kind of fell out of it. Yeah, just one of those things. I was reading some comics. I actually read some Red Lantern, and I just kind of stopped.
All right. Now, during a match, you found a penny in your hair?
Yes. I did.
What happened there?
Well, this hair, it's just really big, and a lot of things get stuck in it, Just one day you wake up with a lollipop in your hair too. You're just like, what? Okay, I'll take it.
Oh. What?
Well, funny enough, I'm actually eating a lollipop right now.
Oh, really?
So I have very long hair, so I don't want it now.
Oh,
No.
It hasn't been in my hair, I swear.
So it's not a real occurrence to find coins in your hair.
Sorry, say that again.
So it's not a rare occurrence to find random things in your hair.
No. I could probably put like a few dollar bills in here too.
That seems like a nice workable gimmick segment for
That does.
Pull a pair of brass knuckles out of your hair. The referee never checks the hair.
Yes, I'm gonna have to keep that one in my pocket.
I give it to you.
Hair.
Scooter, you have a question.
Yes. Now, we are, or at least I am, a bit of a foodie here, and one thing we ask all of our Canadian guests.
Think I know what's coming.
Poutine.
Yes.
Where's the best?
Well, unfortunately, I have not been to Montreal. They say that the best is in Montreal, but there's a smoked poutineery here that makes really good poutine, and it just makes like every poutine under the rainbow you could think of. Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
It is really good. It's a little expensive though, so it's like a treat.
I mean, when you have like pulled pork in it, I mean it becomes more of a meal than just like a side dish.
That's true, but why can't it be a meal?
This is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The more things in it, the better, I think.
Absolutely. Fries good, gravy good, cheese corn's good, any type of meat excellent.
Oh yeah.
And there is one more Canadian question, right, Scooter?
Sure.
Yes. Is Ryan Reynolds truly Canada's greatest national treasure?
Oh yeah. Yes, that man is. I love that man.
I think we just found Ryan Reynolds' biggest fan right here.
Yes, you did. It's me. No.
On a more serious note, you took a break from wrestling. Can you tell
Yeah.
us what made you take a step back and what ultimately brought you back?
So, what made me take a step back was I was just not having, I guess I wasn't having fun anymore. And I just, I'm not about the politics or any of that. And that was a big thing. And I actually, at one of the Comic Cons, I actually met Lita. And I asked her opinion. And she was like, "Oh, sometimes you just have to get out of the forest to see it from afar." So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm going to take a break and just see if, the wrestling bug comes and bites me back, which it did.
And what ultimately was that deciding factor to return?
Just wanting to get into the ring, just to wrestle, to perform in front of the fans, just all that good stuff that they say that just makes the business you can't quit. That made me come back.
All right. And you have a stuffed animal collection.
Yes, I do.
Are these Beanie Babies just stuffed animals, or some of them collectible, or is it just more of a hobby?
So, it's a random sorts. I have, I'd say a good amount of Beanie Babies. I have stuffed animals from like those claw machines.
Mhm.
I have Gumby. I have Bugs Bunny. I have a Pokemon, of course.
Of course.
I have a giant Pikachu stuffy. Yeah, he's like a pillow. I love him, and my cats love him too. They're cute. I don't know, just something about stuffed animals. They're just cute and cuddly.
Yeah, I have 2 beggar bags full of Beanie Babies.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Damn.
And I have, at least I did, the most collectible Beanie Baby, which was the Princess Diana
Oh.
memorial Beanie Baby.
Oh, nice.
I have
Oh.
a raccoon Beanie Baby that was my best friend when I was a child. And I have a teddy bear that was A-Rod,
A what?
the baseball player.
Alexander Rodriguez.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with the baseball.
Just his number is on the back of him, and he was my best friend as well.
Oh, nice.
Other than that, I have the Taco Bell Chihuahuas plushies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Oh, I love those commercials.
they talk. And
No way.
yeah, and all of them had say something different. So that was a really fun little collection I acquired there.
Nice.
Yeah.
I actually still have my childhood bear. Its head got ripped off though, but I stuck it back with hot glue.
Okay.
Yes, that's how much he was used.
How was
He was
his
loved, I should say.
how was his head ripped off? May I ask?
To be honest, I don't know. I know when I was a child, a very little child, I was a violent kid.
Okay.
So maybe that's had something to do with it.
I still have the gorilla my sister gave me when I was 8. That was just about 30 years ago, and it's actually right behind me right now.
Oh, nice.
I just got
Yeah.
a bear with the SummerSlam jack hoodie on that I just got from Vegas 2 weeks ago.
Ooh.
So yeah,
Yeah.
stuffed animals.
Yes. Yes, and I have an EV collection actually too as well. So
Ooh, interesting.
yeah, I love the EVs.
I mean, because there's so many of them.
I don't like Sylveon though. I don't
Why?
know why. Maybe because she's too floofy.
Nothing can be too floofy.
I know. I should know.
All right, on to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Oh, pineapple totally on pizza. No questions asked.
Interesting. No questions asked.
No questions asked.
No questions.
Ooh, one of my best pizzas. One of my favorite pizzas.
And on the show, we love Tracy Smothers. In honor of Tracy, do you know how to spell Doug?
Doug?
Thug.
Thug.
Yeah.
Thug?
Yeah.
THUG?
No, that's technically correct.
Technically correct, yes. But if it was an acronym, what would each letter stand for?
Oh, okay. Total high. Oh, wait, hold on. TA. I am not sure. Total high.
Hold on. I'm typing. And apparently not well.
No. What is it supposed to stand for?
J-
Yeah.
James,
Yes.
did I just know it? Or
Yeah,
do you want to
there you go. It's in the chat now. If you could see the chat.
Oh, open chat. Okay, hold on. Do you want me to read this?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So T is for terrible, H is for
Hell.
U ugly, and G for jail.
Because a Doug can't spell.
Can't spell. It is terrible. Like,
I was surprised I could spell, to be honest.
And maybe not such a good question for a Canadian from Canada. Would you ever consider wrestling the Backyard Pro World Champion, The Rock?
Yes. Why not?
I mean, Psycho Mike had a hell of a time wrestling him.
I mean, it's A-Rock.
I know. I try my hardest. He'll probably win, though.
But the bigger question is, would you do the Tungsten Man match? The 2-week long Arn Man match against The Rock?
tungsten woman
Oh,
match?
I don't know. That might be too hard.
You
Can
do
we
know
get
about Backyard Pro, correct?
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yes. Pizza. He was definitely
Yes.
screwed, right?
Yes.
I know, he should have won. And now it is once again time for that segment. Laurel Cassidy's Bizarre Adventure. You're a wrestler that goes up and down the road, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are about to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Okay, well, I do have one for you guys.
Alright.
I did the northern tours through the reserves. I actually was reffing at the time, but we went in the summer and got in, did a show, and there was a forest fire and it spread around us. So we couldn't get out and we had to stay in the reserve for a few days. And seeing we had other shows booked up, the promoter, he had to kind of move them around. And finally, they were letting a few people out. So we all packed up our stuff, got in the car, and went to the out point that they were letting people out. And we slept there for the night to make sure we can get to our next place on time. And I don't know who woke up first or what, but some people came pulling in. We saw the lights and everything, and the car drives by us. The side door is missing. The dashboard was all caved in. The side mirrors were gone. And out came three people, all bloodied, and they hit a moose.
Oh my god.
Yes, they hit a moose, and they're actually, unfortunately, coming back from the bar as well. So they were a bit intoxicated. And we were like, oh, you're going to go to the hospital? Oh, no, we're fine. And they just drive off. So, yeah, if it wasn't for the forest fire, we would have never seen that.
They didn't drive into the fire, did they?
No, and that's why the promoter was curious, like, oh, how did these people come in? Because they weren't letting anybody in.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's a very bizarre adventure, for sure.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So be alert when you're up north. Northern Ontario, Canada.
All right. I will make a note of that.
Yes, please.
On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself. I see myself working, I'd say, in the States. I would really like to work in Japan. That's the ultimate goal. Yeah.
Is there any specific promotions in America?
Not off the top of my head just yet. But like obviously like the big ones like Black Label, Pro, GCW, and whoever else.
All right.
Yeah.
And what is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what Laurel Cassidy is all about?
Oh, I feel like that match hasn't really happened yet. But the closest to, I would say, I'm really proud of my match with Alexia.
Yeah.
So I'd have to say the one with Alexia, Nicole, and me at Crossbody Pro Wrestling. Go every way to check that out.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that was a pretty good one.
Yeah. It didn't. I'm still working on Laurel a bit, on my character, on her, but I was very happy with that match.
All right. Now that we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Oh, I didn't get the intro.
Oh no.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Oh no. I'm not ready.
Well, too bad.
Oh no. Okay.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Greatest wrestler of all time. Oh man, there's so many. Gonna have to say Stone Cold.
Yes.
Am I getting timed?
No, there is no time limit.
Okay.
Worst wrestler of all time.
Worst. Oh, Eva Marie.
Yes.
That is the correct answer.
Thank
That
you.
is actually, when people don't or can't answer that question, Eva Marie is our default answer.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh man.
It was originally
Steve
Wahoo.
McMichael.
Huh?
What? Were you about to say Wahoo McDaniel?
I think I might have. No, yeah. No. Who was it again?
Steve. It was originally
Steve McMichaels, thank you. But we changed it because he fell under some hard times, and we didn't want to kind of kick him when he was down.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
You are main eventing WrestleMania for the Women's Championship. Who is your opponent?
Oh, it would definitely be Becky. Becky Lynch.
All right.
Would she beat you in 30 seconds?
No. Hell no.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Oh. Past or present? I'd have to say Hulk Hogan.
Real American.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just the energy of it. It's just very contagious.
I get that. Yeah. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is.
I want to say dead.
All right.
We also would have accepted Delicious on poutine.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to get me some.
No, not an actual answer. Squash, fruit or vegetable?
Squash? I would say vegetable.
It is indeed a fruit.
Really?
Yes, but you are now in good graces with our other co-host, Kaliko Yachts, a part of Squash Squad, and that means a hell of a lot more.
I'm just growing squash right now in my garden.
Yes, his definition of fruit is whatever goes in a fruit salad. So.
Oh, really?
New Japan wrestler Taichi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Oh, butt to cheek ratio?
Trunks to butt cheek ratio. The
Oh.
TBC, as we call it.
TBC. I think you can have a little bit of the butt showing, not too much. You don't want your trunks to kind of eat eat them up, you know.
So no,
Ah,
no hungry pants.
no hungry pants. No, no one wants hungry pants at all.
And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No, but I wish. That would be one fun grocery trip.
And that is the correct answer. And I lied. There is one more question that we have for
Oh.
you before we
Oh.
conclude this interview. It is
Okay.
Kaliko's colossal question. You've been in the wrestling world for a couple minutes, and one might say that it's even brought a movie out of it. Angelina Jolie is playing you. And every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on the soundtrack to the Laurel Cassidy's wrestling career?
Oh, okay. Well, that would have to be my theme song, which is called Time to Shine by Tupperware Remix Party.
All right.
Another one would be I would have to say, hold on, I'm kind of looking it up at this moment.
Take your time.
Okay. Cool Patrol by Ninja Sex Party.
Oh my god. Ninja Sex Party.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes. Are you familiar with them, or you just love the name?
Dan Avidan and
Ninja Brian.
Yep. Dan's also part of Game Grumps.
Yes.
And of course, I don't know if you ever heard the new Pokey Rap, where Dan and Aaron basically invent a number of new Pokemon that don't make any sense.
Oh, in their Starbomb album, their latest
Yes.
one, right? Yes. I've listened to that, and I love. It's hilarious.
And there's a third song.
There's a third song. Let me see. I'd have to probably say something from Ninja Sex Party again, because I love them so much. If they can make my theme song, I would love that.
All right.
All right.
Maybe I can. Let's see. Maybe I can put some things in motion. We'll see.
Really? You know them?
I know people who know him. So.
Ooh.
One. What? No Rush? No. Typical Canadian. And I think James and I think we're expecting at least one song from the 80s.
Once, well, yeah. I mean, they do a cover album of 70s and 80s songs. But let me see here.
Should we accept that?
Yeah, you can put one extra 80s song on just for us.
Okay, all right.
Just to come full circle.
Yeah.
Girls just want to have fun?
You know what? Yeah, that is a good song. I do like that one. And I love Cindy Crawford.
Cyndi Lauper.
Lawford. I'm sorry, Cindy Lawford. I really do like you. But I'm not a big fan, as you can see.
Oh, first and foremost, do you lock in the answers?
Do I lock in the answers?
Are you
are those
locking
your
it in?
final answers?
Maybe. Hold on one second. You're making me double think things now. This is not a good thing for me. No pressure. It's the worst.
It was the question that broke Colossal Mike Law.
Oh. Actually, I'm going to have to say the final countdown.
Ooh, okay.
Yes. That's lock that in.
And we are 100% confirmed now, locking it in.
Yes.
All right. And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with us, Laurel.
Oh, not a problem. Thank you for inviting me, James. Thank you, Scooter.
And
Thank you.
once again, can you tell us where we can find you on social media?
So you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at hi_I'm Laurel.
All right. And you don't even have to look for those accounts. The links will be in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox. Give her a follow, damn it. If you, of course, this episode was sponsored by Rogue Energy. Use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment both on YouTube and Castbox. Join us this Wednesday as we interview Lori. In the coming weeks, Kiefer Bartek and Miss Hannah.
Hannah.
Yeah, Hannah. So lots of new things that you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Wrestling with E. You can follow us individually as well. I'm at JamesJ993. You can follow Kaliko at I am Kaliko. And where can they find Scooter?
They can find me underneath their bed. And on Twitter at Scooter Dust. And of course, as part of the Remix, the only live streaming alternate audio commentary for WWE pay-per-view and NXT TakeOver events, going 6 years strong with James and myself. Next time we come to you on the air, it's Extreme Rules. Plus, you can find me along with wrestling prodigy Rico Constantino Jr. at the Smoking Dragons channel, twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons. Each side has 20 stories. Come be a part of ours.
Now, Laurel, when I say wrestling with, you say entertainment, okay?
Okay.
For our special guest, Laurel Cassidy, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James Shea, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey guys, this is Brutal Bob Evans from Hangs with Bob Seminars and TheWrestleLife.com, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.